guys, welcome back to another episode of Two Girls,
No Fucks.
I am Katrina.
I'm Ashley Marie.
And we are continuing on this wild world of dating. What's this, part 3?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So we're going to talk about some stuff. First thing we're going to talk about is online dating, which I've been so lucky to not have to do. I'm sorry. I'm at that age sweet spot where I didn't and it's crazy because there are people my age who are on like dating apps and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm good. Like, I don't want to deal with that shit if I don't have to, and I'm grateful that I don't, because
it
feels like the wild wild west out there. So it feels like
insane. I meet about 1,000 people a week via my job.
Yeah.
I don't even want to interact with those people. Never mind strangers on the internet. Like,
whole strangers.
I just
on
want
the
you
internet.
guys to like my posts, listen to my cast, and that's it. Nothing else.
Please hit us with the engagement, because that's really what we care about. But yeah, like what are the apps that are out there now? Because like
it depends on what you're looking for, I guess. So you could pay.
Really? There are multiple. Wait, you gotta pay for these things?
So some of them.
Oh my god.
The ones that like are valid, like you know, eHarmony and shit. Like you gotta pay money to be on there because they want people who are trying to get married. Like, but then there's like Plenty of Fish and Bumble and Hinge.
Okay. Yes, I've heard of the Hinge. Isn't that the one?
And then there's the dirties like Grindr. Yup. So like it all. I mean, I'm not on any. Also, Facebook has dating now too, which is crazy.
I saw that. That's so weird to me. Oh, we're not doing that. Absolutely not.
I'm not on any dating apps, but at one point I was, not by my own choice.
Ooh.
So
and then there's that.
Yep. In my college lifetime, I had a roommate, and she will remain nameless.
Oh shit. I know what this is.
She was on every dating app at that time that you could be on. She met a guy, started dating said guy, thought it was going well, but had this, inside that he was cheating or he was doing something. Okay. So she decided to use my likeness to make a profile with my actual information and catfish her boyfriend.
Ain't that some shit?
Yep.
Ain't that some shit?
But didn't tell me until like people were already invested talking to me on this app. And she's my roommate, so she knows about me. Like,
right, thinking they're talking to you, but they're talking to her who's pretending to be you.
Yep.
Girl, my head is spinning right now.
There were people who were actually thoroughly like interested. I could have been on an episode of Catfish. This is terrible. Like, and I would have been like, I'm so sorry. Like,
yikes. Yikes.
Yeah. All because of this boy that she didn't even end up with. He wasn't even that cute.
That's so rude.
Right?
All that effort and for what? So, speaking of catfishing, have you ever been catfished or attempted to be catfished?
Yes and no.
Can you have two answers to that question?
Yes.
Okay, tell me.
So people can use their actual photos, just dated photos. And that's still catfishing because it's not what you look like right now.
Okay, fair. Okay.
Like, the version of me that you're going to get every day is the version of me that you see on the internet. It's just, I showered and I put on clean clothes for y'all. Like, that's
not catfishing. That's just a different layer of who I am. What are you talking about?
Like, I didn't just come out of the gym or, roll out of my bed.
Right. No, that's fair. Okay.
So, you're getting the same version of me, just not.
I have a confession to make.
Who, man?
I was catfished at one point in my life. Yes.
How did you feel?
Betrayed. Because I feel like I talked to, and I hope it was a woman, but I thought I was talking to somebody who was, I think, from England or something, and we talked on the phone and had the British accent, the whole nine, the sign, and the third. And when I lived in Florida, we were making plans to meet up because she was in Alabama, so we were going to meet halfway. And as I was leaving to go meet them, I got something, like a message from them being like, oh, I can't go because of X, Y, and Z and whatever. And it just seemed like a real bullshit thing because we've been talking about it for like weeks. And also made like the effort to be like, let's get on a FaceTime, or like no, it was FaceTime wasn't a thing yet, but I was like we have webcams and
what's
Skype.
Skype.
Skype was the big one. I was like, let's get on Skype.
So
oh,
I
my
had
camera's not
both,
working,
yeah.
blah, blah. And I was like, something don't feel right. But I was like, you know what? Let's go meet, because the accent was what got me. And I was like, let's figure this out. Again, a whole lot of red flags that baby Trina never paid attention to. And this was one of them. And then I was like, you know what? We're not going to do this anymore.
If you guys haven't noticed by now, we were into Lulu when we were younger. We were like, oh, look at all these flags. We must be at a theme park.
But
it's
again,
great here.
like, these are the things our parents didn't teach us.
My mom could not teach me that. She had like 3 relationships in total in her whole life.
Right. And also, like, how are you supposed to teach your kids about stranger danger on the internet when you've already taught them about the stranger danger in person? Like, I know how to identify somebody sketchy in front of me. It's real hard to do that shit behind a keyboard. Real hard. But yeah, that was a weird time in my life.
I'm so sorry.
And I mean, it happened and it is what it is. But, you know, I'm thankful that it wasn't broadcasted on national television, because that would have sucked.
Oh my God.
That is the kind of likeness I don't want.
I still think about that. I'm like, someone could still, like, you know, 10 years, 12 years later, someone could still be like, excuse me, Neve from Catfish. I just want to talk about this. And then they'll be pulling up to my house.
Like, what are you talking about? I don't know who you are, guy. I have 2 children and a whole ass job. And a mortgage.
No time for this.
Leave me all the way alone.
I mean, I think it's beneficial to some people. I have a couple that I'm friends with, and they met via online dating, and they're married, happy. They have 2 kids. Like, they're living their best life.
Sometimes it works, yeah.
And I knew the husband before I knew the wife, and he's a great guy, and he deserved to meet someone on his level, and he wasn't doing that, you know, due to life's complications.
Sure.
So I think that's great when it does work out for people, but it's also just like a cesspool sometimes. Like,
it's a great way to put it.
You hear people talking about it, and they're like, all these dudes want is sex. Like, I don't want to have sex with a guy who's holding a bass in his picture. Like, what?
A fish.
Yeah. A fish. I'm like,
oh, dear God. That's funny. But also fair.
But, like, for me, it's not even, like, if I were to get on there, like, today, say I start one tonight, you know?
What would your profile say?
Oh, my God.
This will be fun. What would your profile say? My name is AM if you're lazy.
Yes. Yeah. And Ashley Marie, 34. Where do you live? Mind your fucking business. There will be no pulling up to my house late night. None of this shenanigans. I'm a mom, so I always got snacks, and I'm on a time limit.
I feel like you're the old school T-Mobile rules. Like, don't message me.
Don't message
it used to
me.
be don't message me before 9. Now it's don't message me after 9.
Do I have to put on pants for this? Fuck no, I'm not coming.
Right.
Not going.
Not sweatpants or leggings? Nah, we're good, bro.
I have to wear a bra and contribute to society. Fuck no.
And all the things.
Yeah. It would just say silly things like that. And then people were like, oh my gosh, you love comic books. And then they'd say something like generic about comic books. And I'd be like, okay, did you read
this issue
42?
Yeah.
Who made a guest appearance? And they'd be like, oh, that's easy. It was this fucking liar. Nobody made a guest appearance. Like.
And then there's that.
Yep.
Wow, I really am about being Catfish.
It's okay.
It feels
Deep
good
breaths.
to let that out.
Deep
Listen,
breaths.
it's fine. It's fine. It also happened almost 20 years ago. I was a different person then. Yeah. So we're fine.
But if the person who did said catfishing is listening, fuck you.
I doubt it, but here we are.
I mean, so you never know.
You never know.
They could have been following you for these whole, 2 decades.
I hope it was a great show, because I'm not paying attention.
Nope.
Not to them, anyway. At least not what's on the other side of the screen. That feels like, what was that movie? Pleasantville. That's what it feels like. No, we're not doing that. Absolutely not. Anyways, next.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know too much about online dating, again, because I haven't, fully experienced it.
Yeah.
But... I mean,
maybe
it works for some people. Maybe our listeners can give us a little 411 on that.
Yeah.
Let us know how it's working. If it's worked for you. If it hasn't worked for you, I want to hear those stories more, honestly.
Please and thanks.
And yeah.
All right.
The next topic of this dating episode is outside influences.
Outside influences. Let's get into it.
So we live in the age of technology. So the internet is a huge outside influence.
Yeah.
Like people are always comparing their relationships to other people that they see. You can't do that.
Here's the thing. People post all of the good things.
Exactly.
No one's posting failures on the internet.
Except for 20-year-old me. She was out there being like, I'm heartbroken.
Actually,
Hashtag sad emoji.
40-year-old Trina is posting her gym fails. I'm not always successful at lifting that fucking heavy ass weight.
That's
so I'm
okay.
just throwing that out there. But
okay.
especially when it comes to like relationships and stuff, I think people want to put their best foot forward. And in thinking that if they're putting that out there, then in turn, it's going to manifest in their actual life versus the virtual life without doing any work in your actual life to make the virtual life a reality. Wow, that was thick. So, yeah, it just, I don't know. It's a lot.
I think people use social media for different things. Like, I love to see that people are doing well, or what they're doing. You know,
Yeah.
I think that that's important. From different walks of my life,
Sure.
like my military friends, my college friends, my high school friends.
Yeah.
Like, I love to see that they're doing well, and if they want to post that they're not doing well, if I can help in any way,
Yeah.
cool. Like,
One of
maybe
my
I've been there.
One of my favorite things is when I'm like scrolling, mindlessly scrolling, and I come across somebody in high school, a photo they posted, not knowing who it was, but I know whose kid they are. Like, I love that shit. I'm like, oh, you're so-and-so's kid. And then I'll scroll back down to like see who posted it. I'm like, yep, I got it. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But anyways,
No,
had to
it
throw
does.
that out there. It's fine. This is how real conversations go. They have like 12 different avenues that they go down before they end up back on 93.
But
It's
like,
cool. It's cool. It's
but like
cool.
the internet, your families are a huge outside influence.
So, if I say, I'm like, how do I want to approach this? Knowing that this is going to live in audio heaven for like infinity and beyond. When you have people in your life who are very pro or anti partner, it's hard to, so for example, when I dated a girl that lived in Florida, and my mom met her, and mama was like, I don't like this bitch.
Write that down, everyone. Mom did not like Sunshine Sally. Heard.
She wasn't a fan. And it took me moving down there with her to realize that mama was right. And that's...
The moms are always right.
always
right.
99% of the time, they are.
Maria has never been wrong. For me, she's never been wrong.
Andrea would be correct had she had all the information she needed.
Okay.
That's where that 1% clicks in.
Yeah, Maria's never been wrong.
Yeah, neither is Andrea.
She's
when
like-
she has all the information, she knows how to make an informed decision.
With all of her children, she has never, like...
Yeah, no. Moms know. They know what's up. And I'll get a sense of whether or not I should continue this. Like, I'll want to continue it out of spite. Mama, you don't know what you're talking about. This ain't your life. This
I'm
is
right,
mine.
yeah.
Get out of here. I know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. Not really fully grasping the fact that my mom's been on this planet a whole lot longer than me, so she knows some shit, and maybe I should give it the attention it deserves. Fine. But yeah, sometimes, especially like outside influences. So another, for example, like with friends, and I actually just talked about this with the Apex best friend not too long ago. And when I was in a really shitty situation, she would say, you know, I didn't want to tell you exactly how I felt because I didn't want to influence your decision. It's okay, Martz. It's fine. It wasn't me that hit the mic this time, so it's fine.
Stop snitching. Shit.
Listen, if it was me, I'd claim that shit. But she would tell me, like, I don't want to be the one to influence your decision. You had to be the one to make that decision for yourself. And as noble as that was of her to do that, I'm like, bitch, I needed you to
Yeah.
knock me upside my head with a bat. Like, this shit ain't for you. Wake the fuck up. Something. She's like, but what if I did that and then you stayed? And I was like,
At least you would have had a sort of like.
I get that, but
Yeah.
I fully understand where she's coming from.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta figure this shit out for myself. And, whatever.
The Stitch to my Lilo would never. She says exactly how she feels. She's like, first off, fuck
Bitch.
these people. They're terrible.
Bitch.
No one's good enough for you
What
except
you
for
need
me.
to know.
I'm going to be your platonic lover for the rest of your life. Thank
Please
you.
and thanks. That's funny. But also necessary to have people like that in your life, too. For sure.
But she does a lot of regulating. So she will be like, hey, I just don't like the way that this feels. Mm-hmm. But if you want to keep doing it. But I had to tell you because I can't not do it.
I appreciate that.
And so I'm like, okay.
For sure. Yeah.
And then, my dumbass kept doing it. I learned like
Girl,
everyone
we
was like,
all had those dumbass moments.
and
more
I'm
than
like,
I care to
But
admit.
this is the end game.
Yeah.
See, if you guys haven't noticed by this episode, I'm just out here looking for love. Okay, love. Well, was
and all the wrong
was.
pieces.
Was past tense. I was just like, this is, I'm in this. We're doing this. It's love. Yada yada. Now we are in love with ourselves.
Hell yeah.
So we don't need that.
Because you're not going to be no good to nobody if you're not good to yourself. That's across the board.
I hold myself accountable.
There you go.
I don't judge myself too harshly.
Yeah.
Because I give myself grace. I'm a human being. Mm-hmm. So I'm loving who I am right now.
Hell yeah.
So if someone shows up, that's cool. And if they don't show up, that's also cool.
Yeah.
I make my own money and wash my own dishes. Thank you.
What is it? INDEP. Miss Independent. All the things. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
So basically, it's ending that. Don't let your family, your friends, the internet influence too much.
Yeah.
But listen with an open heart, I guess.
Yeah. For sure. And if you got an inner Jiminy Cricket, listen to that bitch. Because she's not speaking for no reason. At least mine don't. Be like, bitch, I got some shit to say. I got some stuff on my heart. And we got to get this out.
Or Yana Venom. She knows too.
Yeah, that too. Segue into the next part of this.
Yeah.
What you got? It's the interracial piece, right?
It is.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So this is heavy for us.
Just a little bit, given that we're products.
Yeah,
of that.
But also, Katrina's in an interracial marriage. Yeah.
Wow, my marriage is layered.
Yeah, so layered. I have interracial children, so it's super, super heavy for us. I remember, beginning my journey dating my my partner in parenting, and it was heavy for everyone. They were like, this is something.
Yeah.
And at the same time, my sister was also dating someone who of Caucasian descent. So my parents sometimes say things without, regard
no
to
filter.
it. Yeah. Like
no
they're not trying to be racist. They just, So
That's tough. It's real tough.
So my dad made a comment of like, look, the next thing I need is my son to be dating a white lady, and then it circles all back. And I'm like,
God, Dad.
my God.
Oh, Dad. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. But he can't.
But again, he didn't mean it to be racist or
right?
anything.
No,
It's
and
just-
I think it's a generational thing. I think our parents. So for me, my parents are a little bit older. And they were alive at a time where interracial dating was illegal. Mm-hmm. That's so crazy to even think about. Like, it's illegal.
Yep.
And they were, like, young adults before it, like, came to be a thing. So it was just like, wait, what? What? And then here I come around in the 80s. Mess. But it's so crazy because, like, my family, I mentioned this before, how my mom is, like, one of 10. And all of my cousins, with the exception of 4, I think I mentioned there's like 18 or 19 of us. 4 of them are 100% black. The rest of us are mixed. And I think it's funny that when those of us who choose to date someone who does not look like us get comments from those who also chose to date people that don't look like them. And it's like, can you really talk shit? I mean, they can because they're family, and I get it.
They can't. They need to stay in their motherfucking lane.
Oh, they're not going to.
They're not going to, but I'm not going to listen to that shit either.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like the amount of, not even your family, not even your friends, random people that want to comment on your relationship. Like, you couldn't find a black man to love you to procreate with? Yes, I could.
But I didn't.
People were putting in their bids, pulling their tickets like at the deli. But it is what it is. Like, the universe.
I see that now.
I'm like
number 28.
Yeah.
I get it. It's fine. But yeah, I don't know. It's so layered, especially with me, because I'm dating someone who's white. I'm dating someone who's a female. So like, my relationship was illegal on 2 different levels.
Mm-hmm.
What? And also not that long ago, which is also a gag. But it just, I think once my family, and now that my family is a little bit more grown and they get it, and they met, as soon as they met wife, they were like, oh, that's it for you.
Yeah.
Don't be bringing nobody else around us.
Because we don't even like them.
Right. And they'll be real quick to tell you when they don't like somebody. But yeah, I don't know. It's just family is weird when it comes to that, because I think the thought process on the social construct is stemmed so deep in white supremacy that it tells them that us dating outside of our race is wrong. And it's like, it's not always what's the outside. I want to date this person because they make me feel good in this moment. Or I see something in them that brings out something good in me. Like, let's not just judge a book by their cover for once. But sometimes it's real hard to break those behaviors, if you will.
And sometimes the people that you choose to be with, whether it's for a short time or a long time, care about you.
Right.
And want to lift you up more than the people who are in your culture, per se.
Right. Because like, oh, you couldn't find so-and-so today, or what about, and I'm like,
why? So he can comment on my body? So he can comment on my hairs? Like,
girl. Or even just like, oh, so-and-so, like a black woman's not good enough for you. And it's like, that's not the case, because I've dated all the, like when I say I dated all the colors, no matter how short of a time, all the colors were checked off. Like, I just didn't find the person that can meet me at the level I needed them to at that time in my life. But it's just,
there are very few, and I'll be completely transparent about this. There are very few fully black men who have interest in me.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I truly don't know.
It has nothing to do with you. It's more has to do with them.
Probably, but
that's on them to figure that out. That's not on you.
I think it's because of the way I present. Like,
in what way?
We had talked about this briefly in another episode and on our offline conversations. Because of the way that I speak and because of the way that I look.
Okay.
People don't ever get like, I get the question of what are you so much. So much.
That's so annoying.
So much. Like, I just come up with a new response every time.
Yeah. Like, today I'm going to be fill in the blank. Jesus.
Like, what do you want me to say to that?
Right. Do you think it's, I wonder, and this also might be a rhetorical question, but like, where do you think that comes from? Like, in a sense of,
I think it comes from the same mindset of like, you shouldn't date outside of your race.
Yeah.
Which puts you and I in a different category. Yeah. Because when are we going to find the combination that we are in somebody else?
Not for another however many years. It means it's checking that other box. Literally other. Or like, not even check it, but like we have to, it's a write-in, if you will.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is literally a write-in because there's not
there's no box that I fit into.
You would be sitting there checking 2 or 3 boxes to cover all the bases.
Yeah.
And I would be doing, like,
Yeah,
it just doesn't
like,
make sense.
It doesn't. I think people societally think and were conditioned to believe that this person that looks like this should be with this person that looks like that.
Yep.
And understanding that that's not how the like it look.
Yeah.
If you've ever done a puzzle and you've seen 2 pieces and you're like, oh shit, they work together, and you put them together, they don't fit. It's kind of like that.
I think even within the Black community, like, there's the divide of, like, light-skinned Black and darker-skinned Black.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that should be a thing. Like, I'm not Black enough for the dark-skinned Black people, and I am too Black for the lighter-skinned Black people. So I'm gonna take my coffee with milk ass and sit right here. Thank you. Like,
and those that look like me can come and join me at this table.
And even if you don't, if you want to just come party, that's cool. But like,
it's tough.
I'm not gonna take you. It used to bother me, like, but not so much. But now when it has to do with my kids.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different ballgame.
No.
Yeah, you're not gonna fuck with my kids.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Yeah, no, it's tough. And then to add another layer to this, when you are someone who looks like us, and then you do date somebody who doesn't look like us, then you meet their family and you're like, you're already dealing with the preconceived notions of what they have about you based on what they learned and what they were brought up to believe in. And you're fighting all of that while just trying to maintain a relationship with somebody. And it's just like, that can get exhausting really
And sometimes
quickly.
it takes time for those people to adjust to you.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Like, I shout out to I still call them my in-laws because we operate functioning like
absolutely.
They watch my children. Like, it's a thing.
All the things, yep.
So they will still reach out to me and ask me, like, hey, like, is there a better shampoo we can use for their hair when they're over there? Like, they're super understanding of, like, what I need from them.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that they want to learn.
Yeah, but it took time to get to this point.
I believe that.
And
for sure.
it's okay.
Yeah. As long as there was an effort that was made. And sometimes you have to crash into, you got to be a crash test dummy to have shit be like, oh, wait, that doesn't work. Let's try something else.
But they have advocated for me on multiple occasions.
I love that.
Like, when I gave birth to my son, my mother-in-law was in the room just because, she was in there trying to make sure, like, we had everything that we needed, and she wasn't going to stay for the actual birth, but then she did. And then I was like, I was doubled over in pain. Like, I couldn't take anymore. It had been 15 hours of this.
Ugh.
Yeah. And she was advocating for them to do something to help me.
Yeah.
Like, either speed up like, whatever they had to do.
Yeah.
But this woman, she is also, like, 5 feet tall, 120 pounds soaking wet. And she is yelling at everybody who's moving in the room, like, hi, what are we doing? What are we doing?
So she is 5 feet, but she got an attitude of 6'1".
Oh, no, she's 6'3". She's big money over here. But she was there at, like, whatever I needed. And then she made sure, like, the kitchen was closing after I gave birth. She made sure someone went out and got me food. Like, she was on top of it.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's also
even
super
now,
helpful.
Like, I went through some things, like, in the past couple of years, and she still, like, will do a check-in with me.
I love that.
Like, so how do we feel about this? If you want to talk about it. And I'm like,
okay.
We haven't always had the greatest relationship, but we build on the good moments.
Absolutely. As you should. And most relationships tend to operate that way. So you figure out the bullshit, keep it moving.
So
keep moving
whenever people are like, well, white people, some white people are trying to learn.
There are.
There are the few that...
There needs to be more of them.
But they're trying to learn. So. And this is not to knock white people. I'm just telling you my experience from,
Oh, I'll knock them.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, in this moment,
quick.
I'm just...
No, I get it. This isn't a moment to rock the boat. And I get that. But
I'm just happy of the people that are accepting of,
whatever situationship that you happen to be in. I get that, for sure. Yeah. Just being...
Whether you're white and black, black and, purple, Spanish
Asian.
and Spanish,
Yeah.
woman and woman, woman and man and woman, whatever you want to do. I'm okay with it. Just do it. Be happy.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. I feel like there's so much more
There is.
to diverge into that without, or that doesn't necessarily stay in the dating realm, but I'm sure we'll touch upon that at a later time. But yeah. Anything? Oh, we have one more thing.
We do.
Here. Oh God, here we go.
Where we at?
And we still, we still got time. I just did a time check. We're good. Go for it.
Okay.
Go for it. You wanna tell the peoples?
In my humble opinion,
Here we
you
go.
should never be asking somebody their body count. If you are that concerned, you do not belong there. Go back on the porch and wait for the next bus. Because
So early 30s Trina is trying to hear you on that.
heard.
I'm trying. We're trying. We're really trying. But I think for me, old me, because new me don't give a shit.
New you doesn't have to give a shit.
Not anymore, we don't. But I think there's a level of insecurity there
is.
when, for me, it wasn't, I need to know your body count because I'm trying to judge you. It's an insecurity for me as to whether or not I can live up to the experience that you have, because I'm not coming to the table with a lot of experience. So I'm just trying to gauge where I should be on that, or if...
So you're using it as a learning tool.
Pretty much.
Which is great. But other people are using it as like, so are you like a wife or are you a hoe? Because that's how it's
so
looked
bad.
at.
That's so
like, you
bad.
shouldn't be asking someone on a first date what their body count is.
Ooh, not on a first date.
If you're that concerned, again, like I said, the porch is over there.
On the first date? People do that on the first date?
Yes.
I did not do that on the first date. I did that on date 5-ish. Maybe three. But just so I could get an idea of where I fell on the rung of that ladder. To be like, oh, am I... Because, again, it's insecurity. Am I going to be good enough? Am I going to stack up to,
But if you have a connection with someone, like, those things shouldn't matter. Like, if I'm thoroughly invested in, I want to do this with you because you make me feel good and we push each other to grow and what, like... All of the things, all of the nice and shiny warm feels.
So, Trina now fully embraces that.
Yes, see?
We are on that, and I get it. And that's why it was never a thing with the wife. Because I didn't care. It doesn't matter to me. But old Trina would be like, I need to know.
So, like, I ask intrusive questions on, like, the first 2 dates. But they're, like, not other things that other people... Like, I'm not asking you your body count or, like, what you prefer sexually. I'm like, what are your goals?
What's your childhood trauma?
Like, yeah. Like,
what issues that happened in the second grade are you still working out right now? Because that's a thing.
What's your favorite color and why?
Yeah.
And that's so important. And if you don't get the question, follow my Instagram. I'll let you know. But, like...
But, yeah. I don't know. I feel like... If it's addressed in a certain way, like, hey, I'm fitting to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Feel free if you want to answer it. Feel free if you don't.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm coming from when I ask it. And maybe that's where I was met with so much resistance because I didn't dress it up the way that I probably should have at the time.
But also then accusing someone of lying after they answer.
Also
so it happens to me quite frequently.
Yeah.
When I talk about this, whether it be in a friendship setting or like, just anytime at all.
Yeah.
People are like, are you sure? Yes. Do you want me to call them on the phone?
Listen, this is my life. Why are you asking me if I'm sure about my life? Are you serious right now?
One of them got receipts. So he'll tell you. He'll tell you.
Please and thanks.
Okay? If not, my 3-year-old will tell you.
Oh my God. Should your 3-year-old really know that?
She knows. She just thinks it's her papa and that's it. So.
Fair. All right. That's fine. That's why I asked. I was like, wait a minute.
That's the only person. So that's
my shit derailed
again.
so quickly.
Oh no!
It's like, bring it back. Okay.
Like the other day, she was like, Mommy, I have so many Valentines, and I was like, God damn. And she's like, but you only have Papa. And I'm like, oh, okay, thanks so much, friend. Thanks for volunteering me for this. Appreciate it.
This child, she's hilarious. But yeah. If you're going to ask anything on a personal level, dress it up in such a way that is not threatening, demeaning, or condescending.
Yes.
I want to know this because of X, Y, and Z. And this is why I'm at A, B, C to kind of figure out where I fit into this portion of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And they can be like, fuck it doesn't even matter. Are you trying to get down or are you trying to not to? Whatever. That's fine.
Because your dating history could be completely different than your body count, which
absolutely
is mine. Like, that's the case for me.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Yeah. My version of dating is not all the people I slept with. That's not dating to me.
That's not dating to me either.
Yeah.
But also, all the people that I've dated, I haven't slept with.
Exactly that. I think that's what I meant to say. That's where my brain was.
Yeah.
It's Monday. It's been a long week. It's kind of where I'm at with that, and that's fine. Do we have anything else? I think that was the last thing I had on my list of things, because we have other dating things to talk about.
We do.
But also wanted to just throw out there, so we're going to put some polls out there on the IG and FBs.
Yes.
And we need your engagement on, because in a couple of weeks, we're going to do an episode where we answer y'all's questions.
And don't be asking us no funny shit, because we're not doing that.
Throw it out there anyway, because engagement is engagement at this point. But
yeah, they're going to ask some fuck shit like, what color underwear are you wearing? And then I want you to fucking answer it.
I will answer it.
Okay.
And then be like,
yeah.
mind your business. Like, if you really want to know,
ask my wife. That's what she's going to say.
Pretty much. So, yeah. Oh, look at that. That's our timer.
Hooray.
Look at that. All right. Well, thanks for making it this far on this episode. Follow us on all the interwebs and the socials. Shout out to Mertz and the Bridge Sound and Stage
Woo,
woo, for killing it on the other side of the soundproof glass.
And for the sick intro, if you guys haven't heard it, play it
the
back
drums
again just for yourself.
The drums are sick. Yeah, and wait, we don't have a quote for this week. 'Cause
I mean, we could come up with one.
You want to come up with one?
Let's see.
I mean, I have one off the top of my head.
Go ahead.
It has nothing to do with dating, but when people ask what my favorite quote is if at first you don't succeed, then skydiving isn't for you.